hard to catch and kill anyone on Fnatic's lineup. And
Well,
I don't think Lifesteal. I mean, it's rough, right? You have all these heroes with kind of like a lot of mobility and ability to live, and they have no lockdown. They have barely any stuns, actually.
One way or another.
He'll just Shikuchi in and then just be right next to the enemies as he comes out of invis. Like, huh, I have made a mistake.
Yeah. Luckily, it's a Shadow Demon Lifestealer, so not quite the scariest kill lane.
Yeah, I think there's like a little bit of threat there. If I don't know what Waimon intends on maxing, because some of the Shadow Demons we watched, they went maxing Disruption.
This game, as far as whether it's countering an enemy hero or just making his own game go well.
It would be good for him to buy a Halberd.
Hold that thought, mistimed arrow. Disruption was looking to set it up and said they're going to look to turn this one onto Whitemon. Potential first blood, is it coming? No, they need one more right click or some damage from a Shikuchi. DJ goes fishing, but doesn't find Whitemon, and he's being dusted up, so he needs to be careful. Gets caught up by Zephyr. The double Starstorm's going to do some good damage here now. Whitemon, not needed. It's Zephyr with the arrow who gets the first blood.
Farming the entire time. Because you still both need items, right?
Looking for a disruption arrow combo in the mid lane. Whitemon's found the disruption. This time around, the arrow will be timed. And Zhao goes down to the scream. Just the support kill. They were looking for Armel, I feel, and luckily for Fnatic, they tanked the gank with the support.
They could stay safe lane tower alive. Obviously, like, the standard way of playing Dota is you take the safe lane tower, then you take the mid tower. Ooh, they're making a move.
Oh, they've got the Brewmaster. They need to burst him before he pops that Primal Split. Have they got the damage with the Torrent and the Ghost Ship? I believe they do. Sonic Wave to make sure of it. They knew this time around Jabs had a Primal Split, so they had to try and burst him fast, and they did just that, but they lose the game here. Do you think, I mean, as far as overall game plan, it's Fnatic with the gold lead. I mean, it's very negligible because, as you mentioned, these item timings are coming up, particularly the Orchid, but do you think this kind of slower pace is favoring either team's overall strategy?
I think they both benefit. I think this game will come down a lot to execution. Poor Zhao.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna let me live, and they look to turn this one with the Primal Split. Gabbi, this time around, no Rage TP out, and that's a core going down. So the first kill Fnatic find is a Raven thinks he's hidden up the jungle. He's gonna go straight into that Desolator, and we'll see if T1 can do a good job punishing this one. They've found Jabs now in their own jungle. Without a Primal Split, I'm not sure they've got a good way to keep Jabs alive, and Zhao is just like, I'm bailing. They'll give up one to retreat and farm other parts of the map. You know, like you kind of mentioned, getting a bit too big for his britches after the, you know, the previous two ganks he just rage TP'd out, so perhaps he's like, okay, let's go on the aggressive for once, but learning his lesson. As another kill going to go the way of T1, this time in the mid lane, again, it's Jabs. He's the one who's been kind of, unfortunately, forced to farm some. And unlike T1, like, for T1, if they were facing this, they have a disruption save. But this time around, Fnatic will get the jump in the mid lane, but there's a disruption save. You go in a hero, disruption is there, but he does get caught by the pull as he comes out, but the Queen of Pain gets bailed out, and now the Ghost Ship rolling in as well. They've taken out the Void Spirit. Raven's going to get low. He's got the Reincarnation to give him a second life here, but will Fnatic have the firepower to take this one? They've gone in with the Primal Split. Jabs trying to zone them out, and now with Raven following him up, they may have enough damage, but a great Infest as they go into the Mirana. They need to finish her off to get the Lifestealer, but looks like Zephyr's going to get back to safety, and with the Queen of Pain finishing off the backlines, suddenly it's a 5 versus 3. Cuckoo's got himself a banish into Torrent. They get the Brewmaster. They've gotten 3. Great execution there for that team fight for T1. They're going to have themselves a, you know, a bit of a tough mid game here, it feels like, until, you know, their items come up. Their items are pretty far away. Like that Ags on Brewmaster, not really particularly close. Void Spirit, he's going to have a Sanjin Kaya, but he's still very vulnerable. Gets caught by the X. Yeah, this is the problem. The Orchid's there, the Ghost Ship follow-up, and Armel gets picked off.
Do you ever play? So, I guess their fights, especially after that one just there, is it all just looks a little bit rough and hard for them to take it. So maybe they're not feeling comfortable about fighting for Roche, and they're just happier to go blink, so it can be used defensively, right? If they show he can just blink away, get himself to safety, kite, try and farm.
Little smoke rotation Fnatic as that didn't catch a core, but there's still potential for Armel to get caught here in the mid lane. He gets disrupted. The follow-up could come in, but Raven's just blinked on the Shadow Demon, instantly deleting him. The arrow going to come flying through, but the Orchid on the Wraith King not going to do a whole lot except stop him from throwing out another stun, which is still on cooldown. And Fnatic Maybe looking for another follow-up initiation. The Blink Wraith King coming up in a couple of seconds, and he's found the Mirana with Armel following it up, and they're going to catch Zephyr as well. So T1 got that Armlet Deso and Wraith King, and they're ready to fight. They finish the Ag Scepter on Brewmaster as well. They jump in with Raven. They found the Shadow Demon. That's the big target they want to kill off first, but can they do this with the Infest to heal him up a little bit? They get the Soulbind as well, and the damage is just there to finish him off. Raven is going to lose his first life on the Wraith King. Shadow Demon even going to buy back to try and make sure this fight goes well from the Sonic Wave. A complete whiff from Carl. As both teams, I believe, going to look to disengage with the Shadow Demon buyback. It seems like Fnatic are happy just to run it, killing this one fast. Jabs does have a second Primal Split with the Aghanim Scepter, but it looks like they're just not responding to this one, or they just don't care. Yep. It's getting low. It looks like it should be too late. Another arrow going to come flying through, and Roshan will drop. Get scanned up, but Fnatic make these fights happen, and Gabbi's going to be a little bit careful. He's very close to them, but they see the Quap. They're going for Carl, it seems, instead. On the high ground, Gabbi has to rage himself out of there. He's going to be A-OK. Armel, no Aghanim Scepter, so no insta-silence or anything.
That's a shame. They don't have vision, so it's really hard playing like blindly there.
Send the Void Spirit top, and as a result, T1 use this to capitalize and get Gabbi in the front lines. He's got a disruption behind him, and it looks like T1 catch wind of what's going on here. Maybe Zephyr going to be the one getting caught out on the Mirana. Goes for the TP out, but he's been caught by the Inkswell stun, and the Raven Wraith King able there to finish him off. Just the support kill, but nice find for Fnatic. Does feel like both teams just, you know, happy for this game to slow down a little bit. Yeah, outside of the Wraith King, they don't have a good way. Maybe the Ag Scepter and Void Spirit changes that, but we'll see. Raven here on the front lines gets banished up, but he's got backup right behind him. Armel jumps on the back lanes. He's looking for the White Mon Shadow Demon. Wants to take out the supports to start this fight, and he'll do just that. Armel could be in some trouble. He's been demonic purged here, and Gabbi's lifesteal trying to finish him off. Armel gets out of there with the Astral Step, and they've also taken out one more. Raven's Wraith King doing a bit too much damage for them to handle here as the Ghost Ship going to come flying through. Mistimed on a DJ's Weaver, so he'll Shikuchi himself out of there. Another time lapse in 1 second, so he's got that extra bit of save there as Cuckoo goes for the BKB TP out. Nothing to cancel that. Same story. Every situation. No one's dying.
Gods. No one's dying, gods. It's not fair. I want blood.
It's like that level 1 5v5 was just like a precursor for how the entire game will go. Yeah, they'll 5v5 and no one will die. Fnatic say, okay, well, don't worry, we got you, Sheepo. We'll show you some kills. Gabbi, oh my god, he's gonna lifesteal his way through. There's the boat, catches 3! T1 with a sick turnaround! The Kunkka from Cuckoo blows up Jabs, and he's looking for Armel next, whose BKB is still on cooldown. Does get himself back to the low ground, and instead it's gonna be Grimstroke taking a spill, and that should be able to set up T1 to secure themselves for Roshan. It's like the Wraith King, it feels like you just gotta ignore this lifestealer, because he's getting a bit unkillable.
He is only built items that make him tank here. He's so tank, there's no doubt.
Cuckoo. They go in on the Kunkka, but gets bailed out by the disruption here. Raven in the front lines doing some good damage here, but now Gabbi and the lifesteal's rocked up. Carl gets a nice Sonic Wave through them all, and that's going to bring down Armel. His Void Spirit goes down, and Fnatic just don't have the damage to get these kills, not against the disruption save, and they're going to lose more with the Grimstroke going down as well. DJ trying to get himself back to save. Second lane here, unless they can buy time to take a fight with this Void Spirit respawn. They go in with the Raven Wraith King. He blinks in, but they don't have the damage for Gabbi just yet. He's getting low. Can they do this one? He turns with the Rage. He's just lifestealing his way through this one, and they just take out the Wraith King. His first life goes down. They're maybe going to be able to kill him a second time. He can't get the BKB off, and they lose Wraith King. Raven's down. T1 going to go for the racks now, it looks like, as Jabs on the front line with the Primal Split. Armel's respawned, but the disruption saves are there to bail out the Mirana for now. Leap out as well to keep him alive, and Armel just forced a BKB and watch his teammates die. Carl jumping into the backline. Januel, he's got absolutely nothing to get this Queen of Pain off of him, and Carl is going to clean up the backlines. He's godlike, and T1 are just crushing Fnatic in these team fights. They get that second lane of racks, but more importantly, they force multiple buybacks, get some key kills, and find themselves GG. It's over, Sheepo.
I would also call GG if my Weaver failed to ult me twice on both products.
Damn.
Oh, no.
It's like, it's a Wraith King, he'll be fine. Oh, whoops, did I not push my ultimate?
Dude, he was just out of range. He like walks up to Wraith King and tries to ult him, and then like he dies, so he walks back to make sure he doesn't get gone on. and then walks forward to ult him again, and he dies before he can get back in range. It was the saddest thing I've ever watched. I felt DJ's pain.
This is not the Weaver from like 3 years ago, where the Aghanims time ups had like a 1k cast range. You gotta get nice and cozy to cast that one. So it was rough.
A little bit.
I mean, up until that last fight, this game was very close. So I mean, you mentioned execution is kind of the name of the game. T1 got that second Roshan. It felt like from there it was kind of smooth sailing for them.
Yeah, it was really execution. It was like them taking that fight on the high ground.